right, let's get this thing up and running. Come on. I'll be right with you in a second. Just got to see if this is cooperating. There we go. That looks good. There we go. Okay. A Germ 73 coming at you with another Goal Line Blitz 2 stream and video recording. In this one, I am going to review the top 3 teams in rookie tier. And my goal is to make subsequent videos for sophomore, journeyman, pro, and vet, right? At this point in time with the games that have been played to this date. So, kicking it off, right? Looking at the tier leaderboard, tier team rankings. The top 3 teams at the moment are Cavo's 99 Problems, but a soup ain't one. Cavo's Show Me What You Got, and my La Familia team. So we're going to take a little in-depth look at each team, right? And see what makes them tick and why I think they are in the top 3 at the moment. Right? So, with that being said and done, let's start off with the first of Cavo's 2 teams, right? Competing with himself for top place, King of the Mountain. In first place at the moment is Cavo's 99 Problems, but a soup ain't one. And if in a minute we're going to look at that team, right? And as the name of the team tells you, there are no superstars on this team. So let's look at the roster, right? The first reason why this team is atop the leaderboard is obviously Cavo himself. Arguably the best coach in the game right now, in all facets of the game. The dude knows how to build teams. He knows how to build players. He knows how to build offenses and defensive playbooks and tactics. The guy is absolutely flippin' brilliant. So, with that said and done, you can see roster is all built by Cavo, right? Sinking a little flex in there. A benefit of having a roster built all by you is if you are as brilliant as Cavo, right? The builds are the way you want them, right? You don't have any randomness. It fits your scheme perfectly. So those are factors that go with this team. Right? I actually challenged the community to try to build superstarless teams that could compete with these superstar-laden teams that we see at the top of each league. And Cavo took up that challenge, and this is his response to that challenge. We can see a good number of high contracts, right, on key players. We can see depth, right, using his full 43 out of 43, right, players. I imagine that some of those extra players are for special teams, so that, and for depth in far of us, so that his players don't have to play special teams, so they have some more stamina, right? It also gives him I'm not sure, but I would imagine it's as if I was to kind of do what I think Cavo's trying to do, it allows for specialists as well, which I think are really, really important when you don't have superstars. You need depth and you need specialists. So we can see here. I'm not gonna. Oh, one thing for you folks is I believe that Cavo's builds are open. He usually has done that for the community. So I'm not going to sit here and go through every single build. I don't have that much time, and it's really not like my position to do so. Cavo is generous enough to open his builds so people can go and look. And I wholeheartedly suggest that you do. Those of you that are struggling, look at the builds of those people that are not struggling, right? Especially when they're kind enough to share them. Let's take a moment and look at, go to Scout, right? That's this other team, right? So this is GLB2 Scout, right? We can look at some of the plays that he's running. Thanks, waning curve, but no thank you. We're going to look at some of the offensive plays and defensive plays that some of these winning teams are running, because that's another factor in your success, right? Not all plays were created equal in goal line blitz 2. There's a handful of passes and a little bit more than a handful, like maybe 10 or so passes and some runs that are more effective than others. So we'll talk about that more a little bit later. But what we can see is that so far, right, he is 7-0, and in his 7 games, right, he has a 70-30 pass to, in rookie, 70-30 pass to rush ratio. His rushing is about 50-50 inside and outside. I'm a little bit surprised to see no off tackle runs. I think off tackle runs are pretty good. If we look here, right, he's got a lot of plays out of Big I, right? He's got some plays out of Diamond, and he's got some plays out of Big, right? Again, I'm kind of, only this one play here out of Trips. Right, looking at the outside, we see that same pattern, right? Big I, 2 wide receiver, Big, right? And a few more plays sprinkled in here out of Trips. And his passing plays, Big I, Big, 2 wide receiver, and just a handful out of Trips. Right? So a couple things. Okay, I've learned a lot from scouting Cavo. All right, seeing what he's doing, and by going Big I and Big, right, you're putting out 7. I mean, with your tight ends, you got 7 bodies on the line, which does a nice job to kind of counter the 6-man blitz on defense that a lot of the top teams are going with, that kind of came from Cavo. Or I'm going to give credit to Cavo. Maybe someone else came up with it, but I think Cavo's really perfected it. So that's one thing with using the Big I and Big, right? To 2 wide receiver sets, put on, you have the 1 tight end and you have a fullback, right? So actually, BI has a fullback in addition to all that blocking for 1 less receiver, right? So having those bodies is, I'm telling you, really improves your passing and your running. And then what he has, again, he's using those same sets for his runs and his passes, right? So when you go to scout him, when you go to play defense against him, right, it's not like he's just running out of one formation or passing out of one formation predominantly. You've got to put in plays in your playbooks and your tactics to defend against the inside run, the outside run, and the pass. So that's a look at Cavo's 99 problems, but a soup ain't one, right? I cannot wait to see 99 problems and okay, so they're in the Heart League. 99 problems versus Show Me What You Got. Oh, they are in the Heart, so they are going to have to battle. Right? If we look, right? At least they're not in the same division. That would have sucked for him if they were in the same division, right? Then he probably would have had division and the wild card. He would probably come out of this with 2 division winners, right? Gamma's going to be a little bit of a battle. The Thrashers have the advantage at the moment. And then wild card will be a battle between the Thrashers, Dream Team, Glue Ice. In my mind, those are the ones fighting for the wild card at the moment. So let's look at Show Me What You Got. Right, Cavo's second team, 7-0. Right, this team does have the superstars. Has 11 superstars, right? 4 on offense, right? Superstar quarterback, superstar halfback, a tight end, and a wide receiver. And 7 on superstars on defense. Defensive tackle, defensive end, 2 defensive ends. Talk about pressure, I can imagine. 2 superstar linebackers and 2 superstar safeties. Hmm. So, let's see here. Let's look at scouts again. It looks like similar offense, but let's look. Right, so here's Show Me What You Got. Right, his offense, again, 70-30, pretty much that 50-50 split. Right, maybe a little more outside run than inside run. Okay. Big eye, diamond, big, right? Little trip sprinkled in. I mean, it looks to me like he's just using the same offense. We didn't look at his defense. We'll go back and look at the 99 problems defense in a minute after we get done looking at Show Me What You Got, right? But again, outside runs, big eye, 2 wide receiver, big. Whoops. And a sprinkle of trips. Last but not least, big eye on passing, big eye, big, 2 wide receiver, and trips. What I am impressed to see, though, is in the passes, a large number. It's a little bit of variety in this passing game, right? Another thing that the veterans know, or people that have really studied this game, is, again, there's a handful of plays that are more effective than most of the other plays, and we're going to keep running those until Goal Line Blitz 2 makes some more plays a little more effective. I do not advocate for nerfs. I would rather see, instead of nerfing something and screwing a team over, I'd rather see them up the effectiveness of other plays. So let's see. Defense. We want to look at this defense, and then we're going to look at the other defense. So here, right, man, blitz. A lot of man, a lot of blitz, right? We talked about how Cavo likes to, on offense, right, use big eye, big, two wide receiver to have the most bodies out there to block, right? And his defense is kind of the other side of the coin, right? He likes to send six men at least. Right? I mean, that's why I call the 6-man blitz. A lot of us are calling it a 6-man blitz, right? Think about it. If teams only have 5 blockers, right, and you're sending 6, there's a problem for you. So with that said and done, again, you can pause this video, right? Or you can scout him, right? Look at the plays that he is running. Look at the plays that when I talk about when we get into La Familia and the New York Thrashers, right? Look at the plays that they're calling on offense and defense. Look at the plays that you're calling. Maybe try some of the plays that we're calling. Going to the defense now. Going back because I did not show you the defense. Yeah, see, pretty much the same thing. Man, blitz. He's probably using, I bet you that he's using the same package for both offensive and defensive packages for both 99 problems and show me what you got. Because knowing Cavo like I kind of do, at the end, I suspect he's gonna do a little write up and share with us his discoveries. Which if it turns out like I think he's hoping it's going to turn out, is it's going to show you that it's not all about the builds. It's about his system. So with that said and done, let's move on to the third place team in the league. Nope, they're not the third place team. My La Familia. So this is interesting that this team right now is in third place. I'll show you why in a minute, but I don't think that it's just a strength of schedule thing. I do think that Cavo's league is more competitive than the Rose League, right? But Garbage Pail Kids are a good team. DL Kurt, right? Exars, right? The Miami Dolphins just had a big win over the fourth place New York Thrashers, giving the New York Thrashers their first loss. So, but anyways, looking at La Familia. Notice the difference between La Familia and Cavo's two teams that I showed you earlier. La Familia, my team, called La Familia because it's made up of my family, my brother, one of my nephews, me, my son, and another nephew, right? And this is just meant to be a holdover for a season, a one and done. That was the program. I wasn't ready to do a version 2 of the program. I couldn't decide what I wanted to. Still haven't decided what I want to do for version 2 of the program. So I wanted to keep the team active. So I just did this one and done. And I kind of call this the Osiris package because back in the day, coach owner Osiris that I learned a lot from, right? Dominated rookie, won a lot of championships, rookie championships with this similar package, right? A quarterback, a halfback. If it could be a superstar, cool. But doesn't have to be at rookie, right? At least one tight end, if not two, right? And at least one wide receiver, right, on offense. And then on defense, right, we've got these blitzing defensive ends. We've got especially this is kind of a little bit new. He's similar, but I've kind of taken what I learned from Osiris and what I've learned from Cabo, right? And with his offense and defense. I'll talk about that a little more in a minute. We've got the two blitzing defensive ends with the two blitzing OLBs. We've got a couple corners, right? 3 corners. Steve, 2023, joined the family, right? And at least 1 safety. I think he ran 2. Here, right, I'm running the 1 safety to try to shut down the opponent's tight end, right? So this is like a bare bones kind of, if you want to be competitive, something along these lines. You got to put some pressure on, right? Especially in rookie, like the Blitz, right? And I've kind of discovered that having some corners helps. And again, you got to shut down the tight end. A lot of those passes that I talked about that are so effective are to the tight end, because a lot of teams don't take that into consideration. How do I stop the tight end? Do I have, am I doing it with a strong safety? Am I doing it with a linebacker? So let's see. What did I have here that I wanted to look at? Talked about that. You know what? Let me see. Well, I've shown some of his stuff, so why don't I see if I can find some of my stuff. Right. Whoops, I'm going to have to go back and do that in a minute. But let's scout. Come on now. You're going to be that way, are you? This is a quick way to get it. Hopefully a quick way to get to my team. Hey, you know what? It's not cooperating. You know what? We played against the Thrashers, so maybe I can get to it through here. There we go. Showing you this. Oh, so anyways, a couple things. One, when my Love Familiar comes up against either 99 problems or Show Me What You Got, seeing that I'm the light version, I have no doubt not only will I lose to both teams, but I will lose quite handily. Because there's a lot that goes into winning, right? You got to have good builds. You've got to have good playbooks and tactics. You've got to have a knowledge of the game. Roster comes into play. As I said, I've learned a lot from Cabo. Cabo is the better coach, so he's got me in that area. He's got me in the roster area. We're fairly close in knowledge of the game. I gave him the slight edge. I give him the edge in every category. So I don't expect for La Familia to be able to beat either one of Cabo's teams. I'm glad that I am in a different league so that I only will see him on the ladder. I'm probably going to lose to a few more teams now that I show you my plays. But you know what? If you have Scout, you can scout me and see the same information, right? So I prefer more of a balanced offense, right? I think that if you go all in, right, unless you have like the superstar advantage, right? I have an easier time beating an all running attack or an all passing attack, especially with tags, unless they have the superstar advantage on me. So I like going with a more balanced attack, because then again, you don't know if I'm going to run or if I'm going to pass. See, looks very similar to Cabo, right? Big eye, 2 wide receiver, big eye, 2 wide receiver, big. I do have a little 4 wide receiver here because I I do scout my opponents, and I found a team where I thought they were a little bit weak to the outside run and out of 4 wide receiver, and I kind of was wrong. If you look, um, again, big eye, 2 wide receiver, big goal line, big eye, 2 wide receiver, big. Only 1 play out of trips. So that's my offense. My defense, I go matching, right? So I have a little bit of like 4-3, dime, 3-4 was in there, 4-4. So my defense is a little bit more, than just 4-3, 5-2. Let's quickly take a look at the honorable mention. Right, honorable mention goes to the New York Thrashers, and I think what I'm going to do is just look at their homepage versus actual scouting. Zachary's New York Thrashers at 7-1, very respectable record, 4th in the rookie tier, right? Looking at their roster, right? Similar to more similar to La Familia than to either of Cavo's teams, right? And Zachary tends to use actually, I do want to look at that. That kind of rookie, what I call the rookie anti-blitz, the package that I kind of learned from Osiris. I think that Zachary, I know that Zachary was on my team. I don't know if he learned some of this from me or not. We don't really talk all that much for some reason. So let's see. He's got some good plays here. Right? Some inside run is pretty good in rookie. Probably more effective than, I think inside and off tackle are more effective than outside. I think on outside runs, you got to call them at the right times, and you have to have good blocking, including receivers, right? You got to invest some points in wide receiver blocking if you want to have a good outside rush game. More importantly, what I want you to see here, in rookie, big eye tight end crosses, right? Huge against the rookie blitz. Shotgun wide receiver, huge, especially against teams that don't take the tight end and blocking tight end into consideration. Single back, tight end post. I, double back, out and up. Single back trip, tight end flag. Shotgun, tight end, single back, tight end flags, right? This is what I kind of call that anti-rookie blitz offensive package. Zachary's a good example to look at for that. Likewise, right? Cavo was doing. This is kind of that Osiris rookie blitz package, right? 4-4-0 edge blitz, 4-3 shallow Sam edge, shallow will blitz, middle overload, right? Those are for against your big eye, your 2 wide receiver. I've seen some people try those against 3 wide receiver and 4 wide receiver sets. I don't have the cojones to do that. There were some other blitzes that I used against 3 wide receiver and 4 wide receiver sets. Although middle overload, I've seen some teams have a lot of success with middle overload versus four wide receiver sets. I wonder. He's called it 69 times. I wonder if he does that. Yeah, see, single back spread. So that's some success. And last but not least, right? Let's give some credit where credit is due for the number 4 um, team, William 78's First Germanic Legion, right? If we come here, let's see if we can find their roster. Let's see. Has he played them yet? No, but we can do this. We can do this. Ooh, they must have flipped. No. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, 4, 5th, not 5. Yeah. Um, Here we go. First Germanic Legion. Looking at what makes them tick. 3, 4, 5 stars on offense. 2 stars on defense. Right? Full roster. Mostly by William 78 and his. Right? If we look just quickly, I just want to see a matchup to kind of see where they fall. First Germanic, they have the number 3 offense, right? And as you would hope with all those, right? They do a lot more running than passing, right? The number 2 rushing offense and only the number 10 passing offense. The number 2 defense, very, right? Stout against the run, a little bit more weak against the pass, right? So, and that's against a pretty good Cooking for Nerds, Czar's Cooking for Nerds team. So I hope you enjoyed this rookie review and look forward to sophomore, journeyman, pro, and vet reviews. Maybe today, hopefully this week. I am on break. If I don't get to it this week, then it's going to be a broken promise. So I will do my best to get that out there for you folks.